markets in the US finished higher, driven by new inflation data that boosted expectations of a 25 basis point interest rate cut by America's central bank, the US Federal Reserve. However, it wasn't a uniformly positive day for all stocks. Moderna faced a notable setback as the company's weak revenue forecast resulted in it being the S&P 500's biggest percentage loser. This Reuters report gets you a lowdown on all the action on Wall Street.
Wall Street's main indexes rose on Thursday after higher-than-expected producer prices data reinforced expectations for a quarter-point rate cut by the Federal Reserve at its policy meeting next week. The Dow gained more than 0.5%, the S&P 500 added 0.75%, and the Nasdaq climbed 1%. Despite this year's gains, David Lundgren, portfolio manager at Little Harbor Advisors, said it's hard to categorize this as a bull market, but that actually makes him more optimistic for 2025.
When you actually look at the peak in the market in 2021, most stocks are actually still down about, depending on the stock, 17 to 20% relative to the 2021 peak. And so to me, I think the most surprising thing next year could be a very strong bull market driven by things that are not Mag 7. It could be all the stocks that have been kind of left to the wayside for the past 3 years that have been kind of going sideways while the fundamentals kind of get better, and we actually unlock a pretty strong bull market next year.
Among individual movers, shares of Moderna fell more than 12% after the vaccine maker forecast sales that were below analysts' estimates. Kroger shares rallied more than 7% after the supermarket chain beat second-quarter estimates and raised the lower end of its annual sales forecast. A deal between Warner Bros. Discovery and Charter Communications sent those companies' shares up roughly 10% and 3.5%, respectively. Charter said it will provide ad-supported versions of Warner's Max and Discovery Plus streaming services. And shares of gold miners jumped as spot gold hit another record high.